Top U.S. officials are heading to Mexico to discuss the surge in illegal migrant crossings. And police in South Korea are investigating the death of an actor who starred in the Oscar-winning film Parasite. The Morning Rundown starts now.
From the Straight Arrow News Studio, bringing the stories that matter to you from across the United States and around the world. This is the Morning Rundown.
Today is Wednesday, December 27th. Thank you for joining us. I'm Kara Rucker. Top U.S. officials are set to speak with the Mexican government today over the rise in migrants reaching the U.S. southern border as a caravan of at least 6,000 people continue to make their way through Mexico toward the U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken will travel to Mexico City, along with Secretary of Homeland Security Alejandro Mayorkas and White House Homeland Security Advisor Liz Sherwood Randall. The U.S. delegation will meet with Mexican President Andres Manuel Lopez Obrador. The State Department saying they will discuss, quote, unprecedented irregular migration in the Western Hemisphere and identify ways Mexico and the United States will address border security challenges. The Mexican president has said he is willing to help with the surge of migrants crossing the border, confirming last week U.S. officials want Mexico to do more to block migrants from its southern border with Guatemala. In exchange, he wants the U.S. to send more development aid to migrants' home countries to stem their need to migrate. The Mexican president also wants the U.S. to reduce or eliminate sanctions against Cuba and Venezuela, two of the top countries where migrants are coming from. With daily illegal border crossings topping 10,000 this month, the U.S. briefly closed two railway border crossings in Texas, while other closures remain in effect. The State Department saying Blinken will discuss with the Mexican president actions needed for the U.S. to reopen all crossings across the shared border. On Tuesday, U.S. officials met in Washington with Israel's Minister of Strategic Affairs, Ron Dermer, a close advisor to Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and a member of the country's war cabinet, amid differences between the two countries on the scope of Israel's operations and plans for what a post-war Gaza would look like. According to a White House official, Dermer met with Secretary of State Antony Blinken and National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan over several issues, including a transition to a different phase of the war to maximize high-value Hamas targets, practical steps to improve the humanitarian situation and minimize harm to civilians, efforts to bring home the remaining hostages, and planning for the day after the end of the war. The White House official said this included the governance and security of Gaza, a political horizon for the Palestinian people, and continued work on normalization and integration. The meeting comes as the Israeli government said it is planning for a new phase in fighting, despite international calls for a ceasefire. The Denver Police Department says it is increasing patrols near the homes of Colorado Supreme Court justices following the court's ruling to disqualify former President Donald Trump from the 2024 presidential ballot. The 4-3 decision has received heavy criticism online, and both local law enforcement and the FBI say they are investigating threats made against the justices. According to an intelligence organization that tracks the online activity of extremist groups, threats against the justices increased over the weekend, some calling for them to be dragged from their homes, hanged, and shot. In a statement, the Denver Police Department said it is, quote, currently investigating incidents directed at Colorado Supreme Court justices and will continue working with our local, state, and federal law enforcement partners to thoroughly investigate any reports of threats or harassment. South Korean authorities are investigating the death of 48-year-old actor Lee Sung-kyun, known for his role in the Oscar-winning film Parasite. Police say Lee's body was found in a parked car in Seoul Wednesday morning after his manager reported him missing earlier in the day. Police say they are investigating his death as a suicide. They say he left behind what appeared to be a suicide note. Lee was facing accusations of illegal drug use. He denied those allegations. Lee had reportedly been rigorously questioned by police on several occasions, with Reuters reporting one round of questioning lasting 19 hours. The actor said he was a target of blackmail. Those who break South Korea's strict drug laws could face up to 6 months in jail, or for repeat offenders, up to 14 years. Lee is survived by his wife and 2 sons. Shoppers spent more money this holiday season than last year, according to a new report released Tuesday by MasterCard. U.S. retail sales rose 3.1% over last year from November 1st through December 24th. Taking a closer look at the data, online retail sales increased 6.3% from last holiday season. As for in-store sales, they went up a more moderate 2.2%, but MasterCard says shopping in-store still makes up a considerably large portion of total spending. As for what everyone was spending their money on, clothes was one of the top categories, up 2.4%, and restaurants saw an increase of 7.8%, as many wanted to celebrate the holiday season out of the kitchen. Finally this morning, history has been made on the basketball court, but it's not a record any NBA team wants to achieve. On Tuesday night, the Detroit Pistons lost their 27th consecutive game, setting the record for the longest single-season losing streak in NBA history. The Pistons fell to the Brooklyn Nets 118-112 in front of their hometown fans. Detroit has not won a game since October 28th. Should the Pistons not win their next 2 games on Thursday and Saturday, they will be the holders of another unpopular record, the NBA's longest losing streak of all time. That title is currently held by the Philadelphia 76ers, who lost 28 games across 2 seasons in 2015. These are your top stories for this Wednesday. You can now connect with the Morning Rundown in a variety of ways, including subscribing to our podcast or signing up for our newsletter. Just go to san.com/rundown for more details. Unbiased, straight facts, that's Straight Arrow News. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Until then, I'm Kara Rucker. Have a great day.